Ethan Clark never liked big parties. Even as a skilled engineer for the Human Galactic Alliance, he preferred quiet spaces, tools, and circuits over crowded celebration halls. Yet here he was, standing on the main observation deck of the Celestia station, staring out at the endless stars, while people around him laughed and drank exotic alien beverages. It was his 35th birthday, and his friends had insisted he attend. The observation deck was alive with excitement. Alien delegations mingled with humans, their multicolored skin and unusual eyes reflecting the sparkling lights overhead. Holographic banners flashed birthday greetings in 5 different languages. Ethan sipped on a synthetic drink, feeling awkward in the middle of the festivity. He had spent weeks repairing the station's core reactor, preventing what could have been a catastrophic meltdown, but no one here seemed interested in that. Instead, they wanted to see him smile and celebrate. He forced a small grin. "Ethan, over here!" shouted Mira, his childhood friend, waving him toward a group of humans and aliens. "Come on, your present is about to be revealed." Ethan frowned. He didn't expect much. His friends knew him too well to give anything extravagant. Still, curiosity nudged him forward. The crowd parted as a sleek black spacecraft floated above the deck, docking seamlessly. The alien delegation that emerged was unlike anything Ethan had ever seen. 2 female figures stepped out, tall and graceful. Their skin shimmered faintly in the station lights, a deep silver hue that seemed almost alive. Their eyes glowed softly, and their movements were precise and hypnotic. The murmurs in the crowd grew louder. Ethan's stomach twisted. These were alien vampires, beings that most humans considered dangerous myths. They were centuries old, highly intelligent, and immensely powerful. And now they were staring directly at him. "Ethan Clark," said the taller one, her voice smooth and musical. "We are Lyra and Celine. We have been sent to you as a gift from our people." The words echoed around the deck. Ethan blinked, unsure if he had heard correctly. "A gift?" he stammered. "You mean like a robot or a holopet?" Lyra laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes. "No, human. We have chosen to join you, to honor your courage and skill. In our culture, this is a great gesture of respect." Celine's eyes narrowed slightly as she studied him. "Do not misunderstand. We are not slaves. We are companions, allies, and perhaps friends." Ethan's mind raced. A gift of 2 vampire women? It sounded insane. His first thought was to refuse, but the aliens' expressions were calm, almost expectant. The delegation standing behind them nodded in silent approval. Mira clapped her hands, breaking Ethan's hesitation. "Happy birthday, Ethan. Isn't this amazing?" Ethan swallowed hard. "Amazing? I don't even know what to say." The 2 vampires stepped closer. Lyra extended a hand, delicate yet unnervingly strong. "We are not here to frighten you. Our people respect humans for your courage, your resourcefulness, and your determination. You have accomplished much in your years, and this gift honors that." Ethan's rational mind tried to process the situation. Humans were admired, yes, but this was beyond anything he could have imagined. Here he was, a single human engineer, suddenly the center of attention for 2 centuries-old beings. "Why me?" he asked cautiously. "I'm just me." Selena's lips curved into a faint smile. "That is exactly why. You are human. You adapt, you endure, and you inspire. You may be fragile in body, but your spirit shines brighter than many beings stronger than you. That is rare, and it deserves recognition." The crowd around him gasped, some whispering in awe. Ethan could feel their curiosity, mixed with envy. Humans were often underestimated in galactic society, but moments like this reminded everyone why humans had earned their place among the stars. Ethan's thoughts went back to the station reactor. He had saved lives with nothing but human ingenuity and quick thinking. Could it be that something as simple as cleverness and courage could command respect across species? Okay. Wow, he said finally, still unsure how to respond. I mean, thank you, I guess. But this is a lot. Lyra tilted her head, studying him with those glowing eyes. We understand that it may be unusual for you. We are patient. Selene stepped closer, her presence radiating power and grace. We have traveled far to be here, human. You may not yet realize it, but this is a significant honor, and one that comes with responsibility. Ethan hesitated. Responsibility? Lyra nodded. We trust you. You are human, and humans are unpredictable, but always resourceful. We believe in your abilities. This is why we have chosen you, even among millions of humans. The words sank in. For centuries, humans had been considered fragile and primitive by many galactic species. Yet here were two of the most powerful beings Ethan had ever seen, acknowledging that humans could be exceptional. For a moment, pride swelled in his chest. Maybe he wasn't as ordinary as he thought. All right, he said, taking a deep breath. I'll try to make this work, but, I don't even know where to start. Selena's lips curved into a playful smirk. Do not worry. We are patient, and perhaps you will teach us something about your strange human ways. Lyra added, We will adapt together. You will not be alone. Mira stepped forward, smiling brightly. You two are going to be great together, I just know it. Ethan's always been special. Ethan rubbed the back of his neck, feeling a mixture of excitement and dread. He had always valued logic and reason, but now he faced beings whose lifetimes dwarfed his own. How could he ever measure up? The crowd began to disperse as the formalities ended, leaving Ethan with Lyra and Selene. For the first time, he had a moment alone with them, and the weight of the situation pressed down on him. So, he started, trying to sound casual, what exactly do we do now? Lyra's eyes sparkled. Learn about each other, share experiences, and perhaps see the galaxy together. Selene added, We are not mere presents, Ethan. We are companions. You may guide us as much as we guide you. Together we will face challenges, explore the stars, and perhaps change what others believe about humans. Ethan stared at them, realizing the truth in their words. This was more than a birthday gift. It was a recognition of human potential, a statement to the entire galaxy that humans, though young and fragile compared to ancient species, could shine in their own way. A faint smile tugged at his lips. All right, he said slowly. Then, let's get started. The two alien vampire women smiled in return, and for the first time, Ethan felt a spark of excitement. Perhaps this birthday would be unlike any other he had ever had. Not because of the gift, but because the galaxy had chosen to notice him for being human. And deep inside, he knew that this was only the beginning. The next morning, Ethan woke in his small quarters on Celestia Station, still half in disbelief about the events of his birthday. Lyra and Selene were not in sight, but he knew they had already begun exploring the station, observing everything with those glowing eyes. As he dressed, he realized that nothing would be the same. These were not pets or servants. They were centuries-old beings with intelligence, power, and experience far beyond his own. And now, they had chosen to stay with him. A knock at his door startled him. "Come in," he called. Lyra entered first, her movements fluid and silent. Behind her, Selene followed, a faint smile on her lips. Both wore clothing that blended human and alien styles, comfortable yet elegant. "Good morning," Lyra said, her voice calm, melodic, but carrying a weight of authority. "We trust you slept well." Ethan swallowed nervously. "Yeah, I guess. How do we do this? I mean, I don't know your customs, and I don't know what's normal for you." Celine chuckled softly, a sound that made the hairs on his neck stand. "There is no single rule for interacting with humans. We learn from you as much as you will learn from us. Adaptation is what makes humans remarkable, is it not?" Ethan nodded slowly. "Right. Adaptation." He paused. "So, breakfast? Do you eat human food?" Lyra tilted her head thoughtfully. "We consume energy differently. Solid food is unnecessary for survival, but we will try human sustenance for your sake." Celine's eyes twinkled. "And we are curious about your tastes. You might find our observations enlightening." The three of them made their way to the station's cafeteria, where humans and aliens mingled. Ethan noticed that people stared, whispering under their breaths. Two vampire women walking with a human man was a spectacle few had ever seen. Yet, instead of feeling embarrassed, he felt a faint pride. Maybe humans truly could earn respect, even from species far older and more powerful than themselves. Over breakfast, Ethan tried to make small talk, explaining human habits, his work, and hobbies. Lyra and Celine listened intently, asking occasional questions. Their curiosity was genuine, but it was clear that they were evaluating him constantly, testing his knowledge, his reactions, his ingenuity. "So," Ethan said finally after a long pause, "you two have lived for centuries. You've seen the galaxy. Surely there's nothing new I can teach you." Lyra's glowing eyes met his. "Do not underestimate your value, human. Even in a short life, you possess qualities others may not see. Creativity, courage, morality, these are rarer than strength or longevity." Celine added, "You may find solutions that escape us because your perspective is different. That is why your people endure, despite being fragile compared to many others." Ethan felt a flush of pride. Humans had always been underestimated, especially by advanced alien civilizations. Yet here, two of the most powerful beings he had ever met openly acknowledged human potential. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alarm. Red lights flashed across the cafeteria. Ethan's heart leaped. He had spent months learning the station's emergency protocols, and his training kicked in immediately. "Follow me!" he shouted, taking charge. Lyra and Celine followed without hesitation. In the engineering bay, a malfunctioning reactor core was overheating. Sparks flew, and the sound of hissing steam filled the chamber. The automated defense systems were offline, and a catastrophic explosion seemed imminent. Ethan's mind raced. The station's standard protocol was to evacuate, but that would leave critical systems damaged and many people in danger. He had an idea. "Lyra, Celine," he said, pointing to the exposed circuits. "I need your help to stabilize the field. You can manipulate energy, right?" Lyra nodded. "We can channel it. But the containment units are delicate. Any misstep could make it worse." Ethan's fingers flew over the control panel. "Trust me, I'll guide you. We just need to redirect the plasma flow long enough to stabilize the core." Celine smirked. "You humans are audacious. Fine, we will try it your way." Working together, Ethan directed the women's energy manipulation while he recalibrated the control circuits. Sweat dripped from his forehead, but his heart swelled with determination. He could feel the admiration and trust in Lyra and Celine's eyes, even as they followed his instructions carefully. Minutes felt like hours. Then, with a soft hum, the core stabilized. The lights returned to normal and the alarm ceased. Ethan exhaled deeply, wiping his brow. "That worked. I can't believe that actually worked." Lyra smiled faintly. "Your human ingenuity is impressive. Many species with longer lifespans would have failed." Celine added, "You may be fragile, human, But your mind, it is extraordinary. That is why we chose you." The three of them stood there, catching their breath. Ethan felt a surge of pride, not for himself alone, but for the human race. Humans had always been underestimated, but this moment proved that bravery, quick thinking, and creativity could match or even surpass raw power. Over the next few days, Ethan began to settle into an unusual routine with Lyra and Celine. They accompanied him everywhere: engine rooms, observation decks, and even recreational areas. Their presence was intimidating at first, but Ethan learned to treat them as equals, not as beings to fear or control. Lyra was fascinated by human technology. She would ask Ethan endless questions about energy circuits, propulsion systems, and AI programming. Ethan explained with patience, realizing that teaching them also strengthened his own understanding. Celine, on the other hand, enjoyed testing him. She would challenge his decisions during simulations, engage him in philosophical debates, and even provoke him in small ways to see how he responded under pressure. Through it all, Ethan began to feel a bond forming, a mutual respect based on intellect, courage, and shared experiences. One evening, while walking along the station's observation corridor, Ethan gazed at the stars. Lyra joined him silently, and after a moment, Celine appeared beside them. "The stars," Ethan said softly, "they feel endless. Sometimes I wonder if humans are too small to matter in all this." Lyra placed a hand gently on his shoulder. "You are never too small to matter. Perspective is different for each being. You may be young and short-lived, but your actions, they resonate far beyond what you can see." Celine added, "And humans have something no species can replicate easily: heart, courage, compassion. You inspire loyalty, trust, and respect. That is power, even if your body is fragile." Ethan smiled faintly. "I suppose I never thought of it that way." "Think of it now," Lyra said, her eyes glowing faintly. "And remember, we chose you because you possess these qualities. Not because of strength or wealth or fear, but because of who you are." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. For centuries, humans had been underestimated, dismissed as weak and primitive. Yet here were two of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, acknowledging that humans could shine in their own way. The next challenge came sooner than expected. During a routine maintenance check on the station's outer hull, a sudden meteor storm approached. The station's shields were insufficient to repel the high-speed debris, and evacuation was the only recommended option. But Ethan refused. "We can protect the station if we work together," he said firmly. Lyra and Celine exchanged a glance, then nodded. "We will follow your lead, human. Show us what you can do." Using a combination of human engineering ingenuity and the vampire women's unique abilities, they rerouted energy, reinforced structural weaknesses, and even deflected smaller meteors. Station personnel watched in awe as this unlikely trio coordinated flawlessly. When the storm passed, Ethan stood amid the cheering crew, exhausted but triumphant. Lyra and Celine stood beside him, their eyes glowing faintly in admiration. "You did well," Lyra said quietly. "Humans are remarkable. You inspire us, even when danger is near." Celine smiled. "Indeed. We are beginning to see why your people endure in a galaxy full of powerful, long-lived species. Your courage and intellect are gifts in themselves." Ethan laughed softly, feeling a mix of pride and disbelief. He had never imagined that two alien vampire women would not only respect him, but also admire what made him human. That night, as he lay in his quarters, he realized that this was just the beginning. Life with Lyra and Celine would not be simple or easy, but it would be extraordinary. And perhaps, through their partnership, he could show the galaxy that humans, though fragile, were capable of greatness beyond measure.